Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another marvelous episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. In one corner, we have the greatest thing on God's green earth. No, we're not talking about money, Mary Jane, or Popeye spinach. He's the tranquil dart of Ringside Society, Delaware's greatest American hero. And whenever he goes to Taco Bell, he asks for a cheap burrito because he loves the combination of chicken and beef. It takes two to make a thing go right. He's Rob Bass, and you are not. And the second corner, we have that ocean crossing, straight up Boston, flight catching, shot glass snatching. Where's he going next? Nobody knows. 4 continents down, 2 more to go. No cap, straight facts, the worldwide star boy, Remy Blue. But it's not about us. You see, we have a special guest with us tonight. This man is a remarkable person because not only so here's the thing. He has done some pretty cool stuff. This guy actually is a member of the Oklahoma National Guard. That's right. He's serving his country. And also, he is a graduate of the Nightmare Factory Camp 7. And man, this guy has been pretty much making a name for himself all over professional wrestling. Everybody, welcome to the show, Corporal Punishment. How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. It's an honor to have you on. We always look forward to talking to people from Nightmare Factory. We've had so many people. I don't know if you've checked our track record, but we've had several people on from your school, even from your camp and all. And it's great to talk to somebody from there once again. And pretty much, yeah, that's pretty much it.
So I have to start by your introductions are top notch, bro. Like, keep it up, spot on. Loving everyone.
I try a bit, man. I always tell people it's a bit of Justin Roberts, a little bit of Road Dogg, and I just yell and I just speak loud and hope I sound good.
Hey, once you find your thing, stick to it, bud. And you're pretty good at it.
So I gotta say, man, like you were hella impressive with the Nightmare Factory. The standout there, you got the W over is it Dean? I forgot his last name. I forgot what his I know his first name is Dean. I forgot what his last name was. And he's probably gonna kick my ass if he ever sees this. Dean, I'm sorry, I'll remember your name next time. But you got the win over him.
Yes.
And it was a hard fought win, but your military training, got you through it. And the training that you got from Cody Rhodes and from Coach Cody, Coach Glacier, and Coach QT and all the other coaches there, and you were able to persevere. But before we go to that match, I gotta ask you. I always ask all our guests just to give the viewers, some backstory. How did it all start for Corporal Punishment? What was the match or the event that you saw that made you become a fan?
So my earliest memory was watching WCW NWO.
Okay.
Like I remember watching the Wolfpack. I remember watching the Black and White. I was a huge fan of Diamond Dallas Page. Like, I remember watching all this stuff, but we weren't allowed to watch it in the house, so we would sneak watch it, like record it on VHS tape and then go back and watch it after my mom went to sleep. So, and then we would have wrestling tournaments after school with all the kids in the neighborhood on my trampoline.
Wow, that's cool. That's WCW was definitely a thing back in the day. It was definitely a vibe back in the day. Too bad they went under, but that's what I grew up watching. And that was wow. The wrestling thing. I'm now I don't feel too bad because I used to do the same thing too with my friends. We used to have tag team matches. We'd wrestle. We had a field in our neighborhood, and we'd go and wrestle there. And I was the biggest one, so sometimes I'd pick one of them up and put them in a torture rack. And those were fun times, man. So who are some of your favorites? So aside from Diamond Dallas Page, were there any other favorites you enjoyed watching, or it was just DDP?
Goldberg, Stone Cold Steve Austin, any of the older 90s generation people. And then, like, I grew up, and I told Coach Glacier this, like, I grew up playing as Glacier on WCW versus NWO on 64. Kind of telling my age, but I mean, screw it.
Yeah, I'm not saying this because you're on our show, but I always thought that Glacier was a great move for WCW. I think they could have done more with his character if they really put more work into it, put more thought into it. It was a great gimmick and whatnot. And when I first saw him, I was like, "Wow, this is awesome!" He debuted against Big Bubba Rogers, and I was like, "Wow, this is awesome, man! Like this is gonna go far." And it went good for a couple of years, but then like things just stopped. I'm like, what are they doing? Like they should push this man more. There's so much they could do with this man. Like why?
Yes. Yep. And they teamed him and Big Cat up. Shout out to Big Cat. He came and helped us at our camp a little bit as well, and he's an awesome guy. I look up to both those guys.
Yeah, Ernest the Cat Miller. Oh man, that was another funny guy. I remember when he used to do the dancing and everything, and that was I remember that very well. And then they had the feud with Mortis and Wrath. Yeah, that was those are definitely memorable times. So now that you're a fan and you're tuning in every week to watch the shows or when you can, and you're cheering your favorites, you're booing the bad guys, you're just supporting. Now, how did your journey go from Corporal Punishment, the wrestling fan, to Corporal Punishment, the wrestler?
Okay, so like I'm gonna kind of give you a little backstory. So I used to fight MMA, right?
Okay.
And I was training constantly. I was fighting all the time. Well, my friend, his wife was literally on her deathbed, and so she needed a kidney. And so I was like, I'm gonna go get tested, and I got tested, and I was a match. So I get my kidney, so to save her life. So I couldn't fight anymore. So then I went the professional wrestling route.
Wow, that's good. So his wife, your friend's wife, is good now, right?
Absolutely, she's in better shape than I am.
Hey, you know what? I was gonna save this for later, but from a Navy veteran to because I did 7 years in active duty in the Navy, but I just got to salute you for that, man. That was pretty awesome, man.
Thank you. Appreciate your service, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. Same with you, man. National Guard. I know National Guard is not easy, man. I
Yeah,
know it's not easy. So
yeah. I've
yeah.
been 13 years and counting, but I'm planning on graduating after 20.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, get that 20, man, and then you could retire and look back with fond memories, man.
Yes, sir.
I actually just went back to my boot camp, where I started boot camp in Illinois. I went back there in June, and like that was one of the biggest nostalgias I've ever had in my life, because I remember like being all shook by, like, well, we call them the RDCs in the Navy,
Mhm.
and them yelling at you, and you're like, aye, petty officer, aye, chief, and you're like, you don't want to mess up because you know that they're gonna, like, make you drop and do 10 or 20, which, and they do that still and whatnot. So yeah, I definitely look back at it with fond memories. I had good and bad memories, but
So you went to the Great Lakes
yeah, I went to Great Lakes. I was a corpsman.
up here in Chicago right now. So
Okay, wow.
yeah.
Yeah, lot of memories there, man. So I gotta ask you, so the military training, how did it help you with getting ready to be a professional wrestler and training at Nightmare Factory?
The discipline, putting your mind somewhere else, embracing the suck. I mean, that's what got me through it. Like we would sit there and go through drills and just high knees and drop downs and back and forth and up and overs. And like, I'm not gonna lie, it sucked, but it was awesome at the same time. I mean, and I would sit there and there was flags from all over the country on that wall. And I would sit there and I would name every one of the countries. And then whenever I got done with that, I would sit there and I would count every square on the wall just to make time pass and have my mind go somewhere else. Because your body's going to do stuff. Your mind wants to shut down, but your body's going to keep going.
Right.
So that's how I trained myself in the Nightmare Factory while we were getting conditioned to death.
Wow, that's I've heard stories from everybody that from Nightmare Factory that have said, they've started with a huge class, and by the end of it, only like a couple of people actually like graduate and so on.
Yes, sir.
So that's why I commend y'all, man. Like I know it's not easy. Um and that's why one thing I would never do, and I try to tell other fans is like just enjoy the show. Don't talk about how a wrestler sucks. Don't talk about their in-ring work. Sometimes I get a bit obnoxious and I'm like, what wrestling school did you graduate from? Oh,
Yeah.
you didn't graduate. You never went to wrestling school. Okay, well, shut up, please, and then let's enjoy wrestling. I'm kind of obnoxious like that sometimes. I try not to be. It's just I just hate when people like try to like dictate things,
Yeah.
certain things when they're not. It's like them telling me about the Navy or them telling you about the National Guard, but they never served they never did a day of boot camp.
Yeah.
So it just or like Rob's a referee. They say, Rob, you messed up with the reffing. Have you ever been a ref? No. Well, good. Leave. Just chill out.
Exactly. Like you don't know until you put on those boots.
Yeah. So you graduated. So you graduated Nightmare Factory. Camp 7, but then you have the student showcase. You got the okay from your coaches to go out and call yourself a professional wrestler, but now you got to show the world what you've learned.
Yes, sir.
And you were in the main event against Dean Alexander. I remember this. I remember his name now. The Dean
I was
Alexander.
waiting for you. I was waiting for you to catch on. I knew you'd get it. I knew you'd get it.
Yeah. You had Dean Alexander, the main event, a guy who's pretty much, a veteran at this. What was your mindset? Were you nervous? Were you confident, or was it a mixture of both?
It was a mixture of both, and I'm not gonna lie. If you're not nervous whenever you're going out there, you're wrong.
Okay. Yeah. I could see why. Because anything could happen in that ring.
So, see, leading up, I'm kind of pulling the curtain back a little bit. Leading up, they told everybody who they were going to be wrestling, and they're
Okay.
like, hey, "Your guy's going to be here the day of the show." So you got these guys talking everything over for about a week, and so I'm just sitting here like, man, what am I going to do? And then he flew in. He showed up at 2:00. We met for the first time ever, and fans started showing up, and we went out there and we did our thing.
Wow, that's awesome. And you got the win on top of that too, man. Like you were able to pull off the win. And I know Dean Alexander, he's been, because I've watched up to number 7. Just got to watch the others. But I know he hasn't been successful with getting the win. Something always happens. And this time it was the same thing. He was 0-7.
Yeah, but he's got that TV deal, so he's doing something right.
Yeah. So you got the win there. I saw another one of your matches. You had another hard fought battle against a guy by the name of Weber.
Oh, yeah. Dan Weber. Yes, sir.
That was another hard fought battle. Y'all pretty much battled everywhere, and you got the win. And something that doesn't normally happen, he actually congratulated you, told the crowd to congratulate you, to give you to applaud you, and then he pretty much bowed out and left you in the ring to celebrate as a champion. What was it like experiencing that moment in your career?
That right there, I have a lot of respect for Weber, not only on a personal level but on a professional level as well. And he's been around a lot longer than I have. I just went out and did bigger things, and for him to go out there and hard fought victory for sure. That was my first singles championship, and it was the big one. So, I can't thank him enough. I can't thank the promotion enough. So the promotion is actually a charity promotion. So it's called Wrestle Against Hunger, and all the money and proceeds that they raise goes to a food bank, and they feed people who are in need.
Okay, wow, that's awesome. That's cool.
So, yeah, like anytime I'm back in Tulsa, and they have a show going on, I'm welcome with open arms, and I love giving back.
Wow. So Tulsa's where you're originally from.
Tulsa's where my home is. Yes.
Okay. How would you
Yeah.
say the how would you s- I've I've known of the Texas wrestling scene, the California wrestling scene. I live in New York. I know about the scene over here too. It's pretty good. What's the scene like over there in regards to professional wrestling?
There's about three big promotions around the Tulsa, Oklahoma City area,
Okay.
and there's a bunch of smaller independent promotions as well. But other than that, it's get in where you fit in.
Okay. Okay. I mean, at least you guys have three big promotions there, so that's a start. Hopefully somebody will come by and they'll make a fourth one. Maybe somebody will come by and make a fifth one, and you got. I like to see like every scene thrive, man. Like it's
Yes,
it's,
sir.
it's just it's just great, because that way if I decide to go to Tulsa or LA, like, oh snap, this promotion's here and they got a show this weekend. I'm gonna check them out. I'm gonna go to Tulsa. Wait, Corporal Punishment's resting on at this show? We had him on the show. Let me go see what this guy is. Let me go see him wrestling in person, man. I'm all for promotions being successful. But I always say that, tell people like if they ask me what's my favorite promotion, I'm like I'm not anti any promotion. I'm pro wrestling.
Hundred
I'm
percent
not anti anything. So that's my answer I normally give. So I
Great.
just got two more questions before I pass over to Rob. I know Rob has a couple of questions as well. So now that you're a Nightmare Factory alumni, and you're pretty much kicking ass everywhere, you know, you go. I know you want to get all the titles. You're pretty much ready to give all the smoke to whoever steps in your way. But when it comes to tag team titles,
Mhm.
who would you say that you would want as your tag team partner?
Um, Randy Orton.
Okay, wow, the Viper,
Yeah.
nice.
Yes, sir.
I could see that. I could first honestly, I could see you and him teaming. Like you guys have that military background, that sharpness, that tunnel vision to just get it done. If you got to take somebody out, you take somebody out. That's pretty much what I could see. That I could definitely see that.
Yes, sir. He's always been one of my favorites. So
Yeah, that man definitely. I got to give that man his props. Like being. I always say one of the greatest victories, and this is one hill I'm willing to die on. One of the if I had to name a victory, not victory, a rivalry, one of the greatest rivalries since Ricky Steamboat and Ric Flair, I would put Randy Orton and John Cena up there.
yeah,
One of the best. Like my top five would be those two.
and they started out in OVW together.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like, yeah, same class and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild. So my last question before I turn over to Rob. So whenever you're working out, we military guys were always working out. When I was at the gym, I was working out, 24/7. Even working out almost worked out on Christmas Day one time because I had nothing to do. But I couldn't because I had laundry, but I couldn't work out because I actually had to do laundry. So I'm like, I'm not gonna go to the gym with sweaty clothes on already, even though I'm gonna be sweating anyways. But when you're working out or when you're getting ready to get into the zone to face your opponent, what are some songs that Corporal Punishment listens to get in that mindset?
I mean, I'm very eclectic whenever it comes to music. So I mean, there's no telling what's going on in my earbuds. So I could be just sitting there getting the weights, and I could be listening to Kesha. You never know.
Okay,
Like, you never
so
know.
it's funny story you mentioned that. I remember one time, so I'm like that too. Like sometimes one time I might be playing till I collapse by Eminem, and then the next song might be Broken Down by Seven Dust, and then I might play something by I don't know Cardi Ray Jepsen. Called it's my playlist is all over the place. So one time I was in Camp Lejeune in North Carolina, and we had a gym nearby, and once again, this is the gym I frequent every day, and I go to the gym one time, and there was a blue. It was like how it was set up. First come first serve. If you were in there, you had control of the music, the sounds inside of the gym, and it was you could connect via Bluetooth. So I think I was one of a few people in there, and so nobody else was putting on the music. So I actually connected via Bluetooth, and I just started playing my playlist, but I still had my headphones on. So a bunch of guys go in there and they're actually lifting weights, and all of a sudden, like they're like, "Who's in charge of the playlist? Who's playing this?" Like they were kind of upset. And this time, I'm just, they don't suspect it's me because I have my headphones on, and I'm just, on the bicycle, just riding and whatnot, just do my workouts, and they're just trying to figure out who was the person that was in charge of the sound system, and I was just like, yeah, I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna keep on riding, you know. But yeah, that was my little story there.
Oh yeah, I'm the same way, bud. There's no shame in your game.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Rob. I know Rob has a couple of questions for you. So Rob, go ahead, man. The floor is yours.
All right, I think all right, it's working now. It's working now. Thanks, man. Thanks, man. So what's going on, man? How's everything doing in Chicago, man? How's that weather up there, man? Looks like it was a little chilly.
It's a whole 14 degrees right now, bud.
Oh man, yeah. That's that. Oh yeah, I ain't trying to do all that. I know I'm in here in Delaware. We just had a cold snap. It was like down in the 20s and stuff. But yeah, that 14 is that thing is brutal. So I'm sitting here. I was doing research and stuff, man. I seen you do a lot of push-up contests and stuff. How did you
Yeah.
get into doing push-up contests, man? And I got like, what's your record? Like, cause I know during a contest, sometimes you just got to do enough to beat your opponent. But sometimes, but if you're like, home, like, how many can I really do, man? Like, what's the record you've done, man? Your personal record.
I can do over 100 easily.
Is it a time frame? When you usually do it?
No, it's just like between commercials during Raw and SmackDown or something. I'll drop
Okay.
do 50 push-ups. Just that's all.
See, I heard Herschel Walker used to do that, man. You know what I mean? Like he does that. Like he'll just sit there. He's like, yeah, just during commercial, I watch TV, man. However many, he do whatever, and then start watching TV, doing whatever. Again, commercial come up, bam.
Yes, sir. But usually I get fortunate enough to go last, so I only have to do one more than the guy above me.
Yeah, that's good. That's good right there. Yeah, because I was sitting here, like doing push-up contests, be like, man, you got like maybe like they'd be like, you got 15 minutes to do however many or 20 or something. It's like, all right, as long as I can beat you, do one more than you, I'm good. I'm good.
Percent, bud.
That's right. So also, man, I got to see, you did MMA and all that, man. You also got to train and roll around with Matt Riddle, man. What was that experience like, and how did that come about, man? Because I like Matt Riddle, man.
So Matt Riddle, he's like me and him are pretty tight.
Mhm.
And he was doing a seminar actually in North Carolina, and I got invited to the first uh, Turnbuckle Championship Wrestling show. They returned that down in Atlanta at the Nightmare Factory. So I was like, you know what? I'll just make a trip out of it. So I went down to the Nightmare Factory, watched the show. Everybody there did an awesome job. And then the next day I drove up to North Carolina and he had a seminar. And I mean, the opportunity presented itself. And I mean, closed mouths don't get fed.
That's true.
So that's how that came about. And ever since, like we've been pretty close. And actually, before that, we were actually talking at after SummerSlam in Detroit. So like we had like a 3 hour conversation, and here we are 2 months later in North Carolina. He didn't even know I was going to be there. So
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. You get to, learn off Matt Riddle, train with him, man. 'Cause, yeah, Matt Riddle, did the thing, what I mean? Plus, he used to roll out there, without wrestling barefoot. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I can't imagine that. As many times, I only ref and like all that stuff, but I have actually trained. I mean, learned to run the ropes. And all. I can't imagine doing that without any like shoes or anything rubber, like grip, man. I know I would be sliding and just you gotta have that thing right there.
So are you wanting to become a wrestler, or you
Oh
like the
no, no, no. Yeah, I'm in my 40s. I'm 42, man. I'm good refing, ring announce, and all that good stuff. I'm fine.
if you knew this,
But
but
when I trained, yeah, when I trained, I had to learn, how to run ropes, do up and overs, take bumps, from all that. Yeah,
yeah, that's
I
how
mean, I could do basic stuff.
really.
Yeah, I can do basic stuff. I can throw a crappy punch, or I mean, I can do a crappy bump. Yeah, that's about it. That's it. As far as I can go.
Yeah.
So do it while you're graduating from the Nightmare Factory and stuff, man. You also got to do a little extra work, man. What was that experience like? Doing some extra work, being security is. I did see. I seen a little picture. I think you were up there with Dean Amber, John Moxley. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Tell us about that, man. That's pretty cool.
So
Getting on
doing
TV like that.
doing extra work's phenomenal. Like I've done extra work for every big promotion besides New Japan.
Hmm.
So we actually got the opportunity to do extra work with TNA while we were going to school. That was a pretty awesome experience there. And then right after I graduated, I did extra work with the WWE. I was one of the security guards whenever Brock Lesnar got put through the announce table
Hmm.
by Bobby Lashley. So I was front and center for that. And then, yeah, uh, AEW was in Dallas, and I was fortunate enough to be able to be in the ring with Hangman Page and John Moxley.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, man. Get to do all that stuff, man. You're right there, front row seat. Yeah.
Yeah. Can't get much closer without being in it.
I know, man. I know the feeling. Sometimes when I'm refing, man, like you guys, you'll be putting on a good match or something, and sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, I gotta go to make a 3 count. My bad, I forgot, man. Y'all are like killing it out there. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to ask if you're submitting or nothing. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know how it is. I know how it is, man. I also got to see, man. You got to go to WrestleMania weekend in Philly, man. What was your Philly experience like, man? Did you enjoy going up to Philly? And I know it was cold the one night. But
Yeah.
did you have fun up there? Did you try any cheesesteaks?
Yeah. I actually did. I think I had probably 4 of them the whole time I was
Oh,
there.
okay.
Yeah. So before I was actually a wrestler, that would be my yearly trip. My first WrestleMania was WrestleMania 25,
Oh, nice.
and I went to every one since. And then after, I think my first one after becoming a professional wrestler was WrestleMania in LA at SoFi. So then I went to that one, and then this one in Philly. So I mean, like I said, it was cold that Saturday, that first day, but I mean, I got to sit there pretty much front row and watch Cody become the champion. Like, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't crying like a baby.
Oh, I believe it, man. Yeah, you get to watch the guy who taught you everything and all that stuff, man. Go out there. He's on the top of the world now, man. It's like, yeah, I can. Oh man, that's got to be awesome.
Yes,
That's be a
sir.
great feeling. Oh man, yeah, that's awesome. That's too awesome. Now I gotta say, being in in the military and stuff, man. I gotta ask you, do you have any favorite war movies or military movies? Maybe like Tropic Thunder. You got Black Hawk Down. You got Full Metal Jacket, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Are there any that you like? That you're like, oh man, I love this military movie.
I mean, I'm a huge Mark Wahlberg fan. So I mean, you can go Lone Survivor.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's actually a good one.
So yeah, those 2 are probably my top favorite. I mean, you can go Forrest Gump if you want. Do you consider that a war movie?
I mean, yeah, yeah, he did. Go in there for. He was in there for a while. Him
Yeah,
Moon the President and Bubba Gump. Shrimp sandwiches, shrimp stew.
yeah. He even played ping pong.
Yeah, yeah. And you got to meet Lieutenant Dan. That part always makes me laugh, man. Like at the end of the movie, he's getting married, where he comes up, he's like, Lieutenant Dan, your legs they grew back. I was like, yes, yes, Forrest.
Yeah, he's like, you got new legs.
He's like, nah, man, they're titanium. They put this what they put on the spaceships, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Forrest Gump's pretty good, man. I like that, man. Tom Hanks, yeah, he's a pretty good actor. I like watching a lot of his movies too, man. So doing all the wrestling stuff, man. Do you have any shows coming up? Is there anything we should be looking forward to seeing you in? Like next, week, month or so, or
I'm doing extra work on the 11th, which is next Wednesday in Kansas City.
Ooh, okay,
So maybe you'll see me out there, maybe not.
sounds good, man. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. Now, traveling along, you know what I mean? Yeah, you're always out there, man. You're out there, Oklahoma. Like you're in Chicago right now, man. Have you ever come across anything crazy on the road? Any funny road stories, man? Because I like trying to hear if like maybe somebody seen a Bigfoot, you know what I mean, or a chupacabra, or Jersey Devil or something, man, something crazy. Is there anything wild happened to you? It's like pretty much chill and chill the beat.
Everything's pretty chill. I usually drive at night. Like I worked in Chicago this morning and I left at about 6 o'clock, and I'm driving down to Tulsa right now actually because I have drill this weekend.
Mm,
I'm constantly on the move.
that's right. That's right. So I gotta ask, is that the far as you travel? Have you gone all across the U.S., Canada, and all that for wrestling and all that good stuff? Where's the farthest you've gone?
Not as much as I want to. So
Hmm.
promoters out there, just give me a shout. I'd love to come wrestle for your promotion. But I've wrestled yeah, across the US. I'd like to wrestle overseas, but
That'd be pretty cool, man.
I'm
Yeah,
open
we
for
gotta
it.
get you. Yeah, we gotta get you up here in the Northeast, man. I work with 1CW, man. We gotta try and get you up here or something, man. Up
So,
Delaware, man.
so I know a few
We're
people
on
out there.
TV around here.
Yeah, I know a few people out there in New York. Big Ray, he wrestles out there in New York. Um, but I'd like to get out that way.
That's cool. Yeah, we have we actually have a lot of the Monster Factory guys and gals come over and wrestle with us too, because they're right there in Jersey. Sometimes they'll pop on down. You know what I mean? So, yeah, those guys, I like them too up in the Monster Factory. They're pretty cool too.
Yeah, Rob, didn't you guys have I think Fabio Parra, didn't he wrestle for 1CW like a couple of shows?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
Nightmare
he came out
Factory.
there. Yeah, he came
Yeah.
out there. Yeah, I mentioned his name to Hardy, and then yeah, he got out there for a show or two. Yeah, plus the Renegade Twins have been out there and stuff, man. They're my favorites. They're
Uh,
close personal friends.
they're they hit harder than dudes. Like be careful. They,
Oh,
they
I
don't
know.
they don't mess around. So
I know. Oh yeah, man. I remember I was sitting there like, hey, let's get a picture and stuff. I was like, all right, what I mean, and they instead, I was thinking be like, hey, no, they scooped me up, threw me up on their shoulders. I'm like, okay. It
yeah.
was like I was nothing. I'm like, all right, cool. Now, before I pass it on back to Remy, man, I gotta ask, you know what I mean? Because I'm always, I'm middle aged, man. I'm older. I'm in my 40s. I'm trying to, I'm always trying to look for something new to watch, man, on TV and all. Because I'll watch the same shows over and over again, like comfort shows, man. So, is there anything new you're watching right now? Any new movies or whatever? Like, I mean, I did see Gladiator too, you know what I mean? So that's pretty cool. But
Yeah, I saw Gladiator 2 last weekend actually. It wasn't bad. But TV, I don't watch much TV, man. I work and I go to the gym.
okay.
That's my schedule.
Hey man, ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Hey, you going out there and you're tearing it up and kicking butt and taking names. Hey, no, I'm all for it.
Yes, sir.
That's right. So man, before I pass it on back to Remy, I want to say thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on chat with us, man. I had a blast. I wish you nothing but the best in all your future endeavors, man. I hope you start traveling all around the country, go overseas, kicking butt, getting titles everywhere you go, man.
I appreciate that, buddy.
Corporal Punishment, thank you very much for, taking time out of your busy schedule to be a guest on our show. We really, truly appreciate it. Thank you for serving once again. And, we wish you nothing but the best. Hope you get to make it to New York, and I think I might know somebody who, I mean, I don't know if you got connects already, but I think I know somebody I don't know, I probably point you in their direction
Yes, sir.
offline when we're done with this.
Oh,
But
bud, and I'll do it.
yeah, but I hope you get to wrestle overseas as well. I can tell you right now, one bit of I'm not a wrestler, I'm not in the business, But one thing I advise you, I always tell every wrestler, when you get to Japan, make sure you get your Ribera jacket. It's a right that you just, as a wrestler, you just have to have. I mean, Hulk Hogan's done it, John Cena's done it, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill just got theirs. So when you get there, make sure you check out Ribera Steakhouse. They're not cutting me a check for this at all, but when you go there, you'll be like, wow, the memories you see on their walls. It's a small steakhouse, but it's like they have like a lot of pictures all over. But when you see it, you'll be like, wow, this is definitely amazing. It's incredible. But yeah, we wish you all the best. And before we shut this show down, where can fans find you on social media where they want to find out where next appearances, purchase Corporal Punishment merchandise, and where can bookers and promoters find you where they want to book you for their shows?
So I only have TikTok and Instagram, and they're both Corporal Punishment Wrestling. And if you want any merch, just hit me up. I personally make all my merchandise.
Awesome. So for those of y'all that just heard, this man's on Instagram and TikTok. Make sure you follow him there and cop that Corporal Punishment merch. I mean, if you can't make the shows he's at, this is another way you can support is by copying that merch and all that. And that way, when you get signed to WWE or AEW or TNA, and some jabroni comes up to you like, "Hey, I got a new Corporal Punishment, merchandise. I'm from Shop AEW or WWE Shop." You can be like, "Yeah, I got his stuff from when he was on the Indies. I've been supporting since day one. So definitely go ahead and cop that merch and all that." And with that being said, it's about time for us to shut this show down. My eyelids are getting heavy. My stomach is rumbling. That means it's time for dinner and a nap. Maybe not in that order, but before I partake in those activities, two things actually. Christmas is coming up. Christmas time is coming up. You hear the bells ringing. We got snow all over the place for the most part. Red and green are running wild all over the world. Those are the colors of Christmas, by the way. Well, red, green, and white. And with that being said, we here at Ringside Society, we're actually grateful for all of you that listen to us, that watch us, that follow us, that have been on our shows. So with that being said, we're doing a big giveaway. And what we're actually giving away, hold on, wait a minute. Give me a second. What we are actually giving away are free copies of, well, not free. We're giving, well, free copy, but you got to, work for it, of WB 2K24 for Xbox Series X. We got 2 copies actually for that. And we got 2 copies for PlayStation 5. So there's going to be 4 winners. If you want to win one of those copies, all you got to do is answer 3 questions that we actually have for our giveaway. And the questions are, well, Rob, I'll let you go. What was your question?
Yeah, mine was what pay-per-view did The Undertaker make his debut in, and who accompanied him to the ring?
Right. That one. Make sure you do your research for that one. Kathy Nightstone, our other co-host, couldn't be here. Hers was name 3 cities that have hosted WrestleMania twice. And last but not least, the final boss. My question, I'm taking it way back to WrestleMania 80, not WrestleMania, Survivor Series 87, and it was, who were the WWE/WWF Women's Tag Team Champions at Survivor Series? Who were they? So make sure you study those questions very well. Use Google, use Wikipedia, talk to that older relative that was watching back then and ask them. And the reason why I say that is because you have to get, why we're saying that is because you have to get all 3 right. There's no 2 out of 3. No, you have to get all 3 correct. Once you get all 3 correct, DM up. We'll let you know. And submit your answers via DM. We'll let you know if you're correct. And once we let you know you're correct, you'll be entered into the drawing as well. Now, another thing, make sure you let us know which console you're actually bidding for, if it's Xbox or PlayStation. Now, no, people, you cannot choose both. You can only choose one. So make sure you just do that for us as well. So it started last night, and it's going to be running until the 14th, and the 15th we'll be doing the drawing of the winners. So best of luck to y'all. Happy I guess you can say happy hunting or whatever. I don't know what to say, but best of luck to y'all. But yes, Rob Bass, the Mel Gibson to my Danny Glover, the Bubba Ray to my Devon. and the Charlie Hoss and my Shelton Benjamin. Where can fans find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling, find out where your next appearances, purchase Rob Base merchandise, and where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows?
All right, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Rob Base. Instagram Rob underscore Base 82, and then Facebook Rob Base. You can catch me at the in Houston, Delaware, December 14th. 1CW is our Christmas show. If you're going to be there, we're doing a thing for Toys for Tots. So bring a gift, for a little boy, little girl, whatever. We're doing that. You can catch me on DelmarvaSportsNetwork.com. We just taped a holiday tournament, and I refed all that. So you can catch me on that. I think it's going to start airing next week or something. This week, something. I'll be on there. But even if you want, you can go back all the way to episode 1, DelmarvaSportsNetwork.com, to see episode 1 of 1CW and catch up to where we're at right now. So it's right on there.
Awesome. And if you want to, by the way, y'all make sure y'all check out 1CW. They do a lot of great things, and their shows are top notch. So definitely check out 1CW if you're in the Delmarva area as well, because trust me, you won't regret it. But if you want to follow me on social media, not that I see a lot of cool things, but I do go to a lot of cool places. You can definitely find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Remy Blue. Facebook is the alias Remy Blue as well. I'm also on Blue Sky, which is theremyblue.bsky.social. I'm also on TikTok at the Remy Blue, and our podcast is also on social media. We're on Twitter, Instagram at Ringside Society, Twitch at Ringside Society 2019. Blue Sky, same thing, Ringside Society.bsky.social. We're on Spotify. We're also on Teespring, where we sell official Ringside Society merchandise. And last but not least, we're also on YouTube, where you can see cool interviews like this one, like the ones we've had with Jack Ledger, his brother Bobby Power Brennan, CJ Montana, many great men and women from Nightmare Factory, many great men and women from all over the world of professional wrestling. You can find those interviews on YouTube. And to see them, it's very simple. It's not even algebra. All you gotta do is go on YouTube, type in Ringside Society, and when you see that really good-looking dark blue and light blue yin-yang sign with the blue flames on it, yes, that thing is a beauty. That's when you know it's us. So make sure you subscribe to all our videos, because we got a lot of cool stuff coming up, and you don't want to miss a thing like Aerosmith in 1998. As a matter of fact, Rob, should I tell him what our next show is? Should I tell him? Should I be very giving this season?
Let's go. Let's do it.
All right. So either tomorrow at 11 o'clock p.m. or 10 o'clock p.m., or maybe even earlier, we're still trying to figure it out, or Saturday, we'll be doing the predictions for NXT Deadline. That's right. That's a heated show. And we'll be doing the predictions for that show. So make sure you tune in. We'll definitely have, a set date and time by tomorrow, but make sure you tune in for that. But anyways, we just want to thank you by tuning in live tonight. Thank you very much. Really and truly appreciate it. We strive on being one of the best wrestling podcasts a wrestling fan could, should, and would listen to. And we're not going to stop being that. To those of y'all that are listening later on, you get a chance. Thank you very much in advance. And those of y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we would just stop what we're doing and go away. Well, like myself at the Golden Corral and Rob Bass at the Taco Festival, we're not going anywhere for a while.
They hate us because they ain't us.
And we ain't stopping. So with that being said, we just want to let everybody know we're very well and aware that everybody and their grandparents and the parents have a podcast. But we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. Hashtag, we are not the same. Hey, yo, Rob Bass, one time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, one time for the Nightmare Factory Camp 7, one time for the Oklahoma National Guard, and one time for Corporal Punishment, my military brother. What type of podcast are we?
We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast.
That's right. We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society, and we'll be back later on this week with another impressive guest on another impressive episode. But until then, we just have 4 favorites for y'all. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and enjoy wrestling. We out. Peace.
See y'all. Good night. Stay classy, Delaware.